You loved the Adventure Warps in November, you loved the Tamers Warps in December, and now in January it is time for our final Warp Digivolution video. And today I'm going to explore what might happen if the Digimon Data Squad partners Warp Digivolved. What is up, digital companions? My name is Karn EX, and I'm not leaving YouTube like anyone else is this month, but I am ending this Warp Digivolution series here, at least for now. This was a really fun idea, and as a reminder, this was inspired by a Twitter conversation I had with Duggard a while back, where he pointed out to me that maybe the reason that Metal Garurumon goes from the quadrupedal Garurumon to the bipedal Were-Garurumon and then back to quadrupedal is that originally in Adventure, Gabumon and Agumon Warp Digivolved to their mega stages, almost skipping a stage. Now, while of course literally Warp Digivolution just means a Digimon skipping from one stage to the next, this is just a fun thought experiment. That if a Digimon were to Warp Digivolve from a level like Rookie or Champion, could that have a potential difference on its mega stage instead of conventionally Digivolving through the ladder? It is just a fun thought experiment and you've really enjoyed it so far. Without further ado, let's get to it. Like with our other videos, we're looking for a mega that takes cues from the Rookie and the Champion. And for Marcus's Agumon that's normally Geo Greymon, Shine Greymon actually wouldn't be the worst. But to me, Rise and Shine Greymon are so interconnected that I think Victory Greymon makes a lot more sense as the Warp Mega. It's also the Mega evolution of the Agumon from Digimon Next, the manga, and debuted in the Digimon Twins. So there is a connection between Victory Greymon and specifically the 2006 Agumon. The only thing I do dislike is it loses its punching focus, but so does Geo Greymon. The video that went out last week, the completely different evolutions for Adventure, I think I'd like to do that with Data Squad at some point because I think we could really fine-tune it. Hell, Gaomon was one of my examples in that video. So yeah, I like Victory Greymon here. I think it's appropriate, and it'd be nice to see the Data Squad Agumon finally become Victory Greymon, like his Digimon Next manga counterpart did. Thomas's Gaomon normally becomes Gaomon, and the Mega is Mirage Gaomon, interestingly gaining a bipedal, more humanoid form at Mac Gaomon. So if it Warp Digivolved, in my opinion, it would be something more like Gaomon, just like how Metal Garurumon is very similar to Garurumon. And yeah, the other Mega in Digimon Next, the Mega of the Gaomon in Digimon Next, is Zeed Garurumon, the counterpart to Victory Greymon. It works great! Though I'm never going to stop suggesting Fenrir-Lugumon for these videos because I love it. So if you don't want me to use Victory and Zeed, Fenrir-Lugumon would also be a fantastic Gaomon Warp Digivolution. Blue Wolf quadrupedal like Gaomon, and one of its prevos is So Lugumon that feels like a cousin to Mac Gaomon. That's great too, but let's stick with Zeed. And hey, you've gotten this far into January and you haven't seen a sponsor? Well, that's all changing, buckos, because today's video is sponsored by Buyee. And Pascal's gonna tell you all about it. Yeah, Buyee's the proxy service getting you access to goods from Japan. You know this by now. If you haven't done it already, it costs you nothing to sign up, and you'll get a 10% off coupon towards any purchase you make on Buyee. It's dead simple. You shop for what you want, you add to your Buyee cart, go to checkout, choose your different options, it'll get shipped to your private Buyee warehouse, and then you can pay to get it shipped to you directly almost anywhere in the world. They've got some absolutely fantastic Digimon stuff on there, like the Bandai Wonderswan with the Rio Wonderswan games, or retro 1999 Digimon Adventure toys. They're also currently running a promotion for Makari that runs until the end of this month that will get you 50% off international shipping for first-time users of Makari. And thank you to Buyee for sponsoring this video. Swooping back into Lalamon. Yoshino's Lalamon normally becomes Sunflowermon. And the interesting thing to me is the slightly less humanoid vibe of these two stages in comparison to Lilamon and Rosemon, the evolutions it becomes. Lilamon and Rosemon are these full-on feminine, and then Lalamon and Sunflowermon are just little creatures. Now I'm sure Bloom Lordmon would be good as a warp evolution from Lalamon, looks similar to Sunflowermon. It does present more masculine though, which I don't know if is a thing we should go with in the line. Of course there could be a feminine Bloom Lordmon, who cares? But while Lalamon is kind of feminine, it's pink, Sunflowermon, well, gender is the least of its worries. Ceresmon Medium is another good pick, but I think if we chose Lotusmon, Ceresmon Medium, or Refleximon, we're just choosing the same concept as Rosemon, but in a different font. Man, Cherrymon not being a Mega Digimon is so annoying, but it does often digivolve to Puppetmon. No, and part of me does like Noble Pumpkinmon. Its head and body proportions feel kind of close to Sunflowermon, and it would be a good warp for Lalamon, but maybe not for Yoshino's partner Lalamon. I'm just gonna go with the actual Ceresmon. While it isn't bipedal, that would be a nice bonus, but not essential for these warps. You know, we talked about that in other videos. It would employ the hovering of Lalamon and the leaf wings of Sunflowermon, which become less and less used as it conventionally finally digivolves to Lalamon, and eventually the wings just become a cape with Rosemon. As you can tell with these videos, with the completely different Digivolution videos, I'm really becoming a fan of Digivolution branches that focus on a different element of a Digimon that gets abandoned, like Gabumon losing its horn when it becomes Garurumon. So the idea of fully leaning into flying plant life with Lalamon warp digivolving to Ceresmon and having some Sunflowermon influence, I think is wonderful. Keenan's Falcomon, this one was tough. Ravemon is kind of the perfect Falcomon. Mega Digimon, keeping the ninja theme going. But I do find it interesting that Peckmon becomes a little bit more bird-like, and then Yatagaramon again becomes more bird-like before reverting to a more humanoid again feel for the Mega, which is a consistent thing in Data Squad anyway. So I thought instead, what if we tried to keep some of that physicality of Peckmon going and had Falcomon's warp digivolution be Shongpongmon. Shongpongmon isn't a ninja or any kind of martial arts practicer, but it's obviously based on Chinese mythology, which would have some of that East Asian influence going, and I just think visually works quite nicely alongside Falcomon and Peckmon. You can see how Peckmon's little hair could transform into that big cloud beard of sorts. Running over to Kudamon, Commander Samson's partner, normally it becomes a Repamon and ends up at Kentaurismon. A no-brainer to me with a Kudamon and Repamon evolution line would be Mitamamon, which was the new Mega for Kudamon introduced in Digimon Eirias. I do want to acknowledge that a lot of people like Mitamamon as the pick for Renamon's warp digivolution, and I kind of didn't even address it at all in that video because I was already thinking about it for this Kudamon. Sometimes I think I get a little bit too ahead of myself and I think about something for another video, so I'll like almost sandbag it in a previous video and not even bring up the concept. So a lot of you very correctly said that Mitamamon would be a great Renamon warp digivolution, but I just really love it for Kudamon. I'm always going to take an opportunity to rep Digimon Eirias if I can, so Mitamamon for Samson's Kudamon. Homer's Kamemon conventionally becomes Guapamon, then Suijinmon, and finally Jumbo Gamemon. Trying to think of a warp digivolution from Kamemon that folds in some Guapamon is very difficult. Contenders were Ibonwumon, Eldoradimon, both are quadrupedal and that's not a deal breaker, but let me cook a little bit. I said let him cook! Guapamon's theme is that it's a DJ Kappa with a CD in its head, and I was always a little bit sad that Suijinmon and Jumbo Gamemon kind of lost that, meaning that a Digimon like Sirenmon would actually be a pretty thematic Guapamon evolution, but obviously that's not a Mega level Digimon. For some reason, I want to go with Surfymon here. It might be growing up on the live-action Scooby-Doo movie, but DJing and surfing feel like a pure distillation of vacation vibes, and I can rock with that. So yeah, why not? Kamemon warp digivolves to Surfymon. Sue me. Closing in on the end here, we've got the two Pawn Chessmon, black and white, partnered with Miki and Megumi. The simple answer here is they have to become Queen Chessmon and King Chessmon. There just are no other chess Digimon, and we didn't technically see them in the show anyway, so that could be the case. However, some outsider picks I really like instead of King Chessmon is King Etamon. That could be funny. Lord Nightmon could work for either, and even Craniumon, but there comes this fine point with these like silly thought experiment videos between like, am I just changing this for the sake of changing it? And I think in this instance, using anything but Queen Chessmon and King Chessmon just doesn't make much sense. Plus, you know, King Chessmon's a little guy, and Pawn Chessmon a little guy, warp digivolving to him makes some sense to me. Marcus's dad is partnered with a BanchoLeomon. It's already a Mega, so I'm just going to use this opportunity to throw out a video idea. I like to do that sometimes. I was wondering if people would be interested in a Bancho evolution lines video. Part of me always just pictured the Bancho Digimon digivolving or warp digivolving from the non-Bancho form. So for example, Leomon would warp digivolve to BanchoLeomon, but Lilymon would just conventionally digivolve to BanchoLilymon, and you're going at one stage. To me, it's like the original Digimon, so Leomon, Lilymon, Mamemon, etc. undergo like the Bancho requirements and then just become the Bancho form. But if you do want to see evolution line ideas for those, let me know. Also not going to cover Karata's partner. He only technically has a Belphemon as a partner, kind of, and Gizmon don't have any forms though. If you wanted to, Proto Gizmon could warp digivolve to Agumon Mega. Check out the short I did on that last week. And the Bio Digimon are a very different situation, and they already have Mega forms, and they don't have official rookies, though I did do a video giving them rookies, which you can also check out. Which brings us finally to our show canon final technical partner, Christy Damon's giant Biyomon. Now, we never actually saw it digivolve to the Mega level, so it could be Phoenixmon, a giant Phoenixmon, just like the adventure continuity. We do know that Christy's Biyomon would become Aquilamon, then Garudamon, so basing this on Biyomon and Aquilamon, I mean Chronomon Holy Mode or Chronomon Destroy Mode attempting, but I'm going to settle on Valkyrymon, connecting back to the Sylphimon of Adventure 002, which was comprised of an Agumon, and just feels nice, I think, for Biyomon to warp Digivolve into. Alright, that is it. My ideas for what the Digimon Data Squad partners might warp Digivolve to. Like I say, for now, for the foreseeable future, this is the last in the warp Digivolving series. I really hope you enjoyed this one, and it's been so nice to see all the positive and creative comments on these videos. You can also become a patron now, as well as a channel member. Patreon and channel memberships are going to be side by side for a while, but eventually I'm going to reduce channel memberships to just 2 tiers and mainly be on Patreon. It just works out better for everyone. So thank you to everyone on Patreon, my sovereigns Jamon and ZDK14, as well as everyone else for watching. I do appreciate you, and I'll see you next time when we go digital. Bye bye.